How about you, Deborah?
I don't know. In my mom's tribe, the Kikuyu women are known for being very independent because I think it was my mom's generation, so my grandma's generation, whose moms had their husbands leave, and so they had to learn how to do everything. And so there's like a thing where Kikuyu women like don't need a man. Like most men say like don't marry a Kikuyu woman, like she's not gonna need you, like she'll take the kids and leave if she needs to. Like just because she's with you doesn't mean she needs you to support her. And so I was kind of raised with that same mindset, and my mom always taught me never put yourself in a situation where you need a man to like keep going. Like set yourself up so you are self-sufficient, so you can do what you want to do. So if you're in a relationship and you want to leave it, that's your choice. You're not dependent on him financially or emotionally or anything like that. And so I think so that's kind of how I was raised, and Kenyan men don't really seem to like that way of thinking, seeing as they tend to avoid Kikuyu women, so I can't really see myself marrying a Kenyan man. Not because I don't like them, I'm in the same boat of almost, like we just have very different mindsets, and I've watched some of my family members really struggle through trying to mix the two cultures, and it's not saying it's not doable, like if you really love someone, you're gonna make it work, but considering I'm not in love with Kenyan man at the moment, like it seems like a lot of work.
Thank you so much, Deborah, Ian, Alfonsina. You guys have been wonderful. Thank you for opening up your hearts and your minds to us and showing us what this journey has been like. I'm just wondering if there's any questions from the audience or any comments.
First of all, thank you so much for sharing your stories and all that you can see you shared with us today. My question is, I just would like words of advice from third culture kids to parents of third culture kids. My son is 10 years old. His father is Roma, and he has to navigate 3 different languages as well. And I always I don't want him to lose what he has, but I also see how difficult it can be, and from my own experience as well. So I'm curious, like some words of wisdom for parents.
Okay, I would say just please be open-minded. Obviously, they're raised in America, so no matter what you try to do, they will go towards the American culture, and they will lean towards it. Remember, like my parents and I arguing about this, or like you're African. Sometimes when I do something bad, they're like, you're starting to act like an American person. I'm like, and like my ideas and all this stuff, the way I think, I'm like, for example, I don't think that women are inferior to men. I highly disagree with that. So that's like the type of mindset that would say that's the American mindset and all this stuff. So I think, just try to like be open-minded, try to be supportive, but at the same time, don't let them forget like the important aspect of your culture and all that stuff. Because it's very important to kind of have both ways. So you're not I feel like you have a variety of culture, then you're less ignorant in is the word that I would say, or because you learn more and you experience more. So be open-minded and supportive of your kids.
I would also say be patient. Patience is an important thing because, identity crisis, because I know we've all been through this, because at a point I was like, what am I supposed to be? Am I supposed to be a Korean girl who's very feminine, or can I be an American girl who's very outgoing, can wear shorts, play anything, do anything they want? So I think that being there for them, being patient and understanding would really help them. And do the little thing, so I know that I didn't lose my culture because of the food specifically, because every day my mom would cook, and then I would be like, I'm Korean. I remember I'm Korean, because the flavors are just melting in me, so.
I was going to say, be very open-minded. I think food is a big thing. Finding ways to insert your culture in small ways. So for example, my mom, if we're driving in the car and we're just listening to normal music, she'll put on a Swahili song, right? And we'll listen to a few Swahili songs, or she'll cook me a Kenyan meal, and then we'll eat the Kenyan meal. And then you can kind of talk about your culture, using small parts of your culture, those little moments to teach them about culture without totally jamming it down their throat. You're not an American child, right? Understanding both sides. And then on the same thing, being open-minded, make it both ways. So your kids should be open-minded to, hey, I want to try this, hey, I want to learn this. on the flip side, like, my mom agreed to get sushi with me. That was like her being open-minded to the American culture and like making that a two-way street.
In the back.
Oh, I don't need a mic. Do you feel that your history helps you with dealing with the American things? It like grounds you, gives you roots to help deal with that?
I think it does. It really does, because there are moments, you know, where I don't know how to word it. I mean, what's the first guess?
Let me try. Because I also feel like sometimes I am that third culture kid. Because even when I open up my mouth to speak, you know that I'm not from here. So I think that history kind of like gives you roots. And you're like, I can anchor myself in these values, in some of these beliefs, in some of the practices. And now that you're anchored and you're not floating around, then you can develop your wings and be able to fly and navigate this culture. I don't know if that sounds true to you girls. Okay. Does that answer your question? Did you want to say something?
I guess I'm just gonna add to it, yeah.
Wait, can you repeat the question one more time?
Do you feel that your history helps you navigate this culture?
A little bit, yeah, because I have, like, as I'm African, so like I have different values, and like in America I have developed different values. So like when it comes to like, for example, like one of my, like I value like college, I value going to like being successful in life, and it's kind of one of my main things. And I think that comes from like my African side of it, and you know, just like hard work and all this stuff. So I think that just it's just having like something to look back to, something that I can use. Yeah, it does help.
Yeah, and I think it really does help. Okay, I got my words. So respected elders, someone who's older than you, even if they're like 5 years older than you, you have to respect them. You have to call them like auntie their name, or like uncle their name. So, and in here, I think that a lot of kids, sorry, like not to be mean, but like a lot of kids are disrespectful, especially towards teachers. They're very underrated. Like, I remember this kid was like just yelling at his teacher, and I was like, dude, that's not how you're supposed to speak to your teacher. She's like literally giving you her knowledge about this world, about English, about math, so that you can move on. And so like having that like mindset of respecting your elders, no matter like the age gap, as long as they're older than you, really helps me go through my life.
I think like going off that respect thing, like another big value, at least in Kenya, is like family. And I feel like in America, family is important, but it's not like an all the time thing. It's not like I call my mom every day. I don't hang out with my mom every day. I don't talk to my mom every day. I don't have family dinner every single night with everyone, because I feel like that gives me a really good sense of support, to where like I see my extended family at least once or twice a week, right? Like my family, even though they live out in April, like we'll still go out and see them on the weekends, and we'll still like have lunch, and my aunt will just stop by. If she's in Boise and she won't tell us, she'll just not come anywhere. And so I feel like that gives me a support system that I feel like a lot of people here don't have, which to some extent helps me navigate, because one day I'm really stressed out about this situation. My family is going to be there for me to help me figure it out.
We're out of time. I really want to thank you all for coming here and participating with us. Wouldn't make any sense if we were so prepared and had such rich stories when there's nobody to listen to them. We have a table